Shooting USA is brought to you by Sig Sauer, when it counts, and by Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable.
The vacation theme of the Smith & Wesson Panamerican Championship is offset by a few courses of fire that may be a little more like everyday life. Even so, the challenges and twists are ever present as a staple of IDPA competition. The stage Urban Pirate has an interesting scenario. You've just left your optician and thugs have decided to attack. A pretty straightforward IDPA challenge with 7 paper targets and 2 steel, one of which activates these up-down bobbers. This IDPA challenge becomes far more difficult when you consider that shooters are required to wear an eye patch over their dominant eye, and that makes aiming a whole new experience. As the shooters start working with the eye patch, the frustrations and realization start to set in. This will not be an easy stage.
I have a hard enough time shooting with 2 good eyes, let alone handicapping me 50%.
Leveling the playing field and trying different things like this allows us to, try a lot of variations we don't normally find in a match.
Morgan's run starts off like clockwork. The close quarters target and first downrange threats must be shot on the move. Quick slide press after the reload, and he's on the way. Perfect timing on the bobbers. All in all, a solid run for Morgan. For Austin Prue, the stage doesn't start off as smoothly as it does for Morgan. Extra shots early force a reload. That was a tactical reload to get him back on his loading plan. Austin retained his partially loaded magazine there to avoid a penalty. The clock stops at 28:02, but 9 down on the targets hurts his score.
Well, my body naturally indexes from the right eye, and it wasn't up until this corner that I fixed it.
Austin's dad, Walt, is next, and right away he seems a bit better adjusted to the eye patch. Walt is confident in all of his shots, no makeups anywhere. And his time is the proof, 18:06, and he's down only 5 on the targets, and he's glad to have his depth perception back.
It's something you're not used to, just completely throws you.
One shooter who will not be thrown by a lack of depth perception is Gordon Carroll. This is one of the fastest runs on the stage yet, and after it's all over, very accurate as well. 17.98 and down only 1 from the targets is best for the match.
I just said find the sights and pull the trigger.
It's a fundamental of shooting, finding the sights and pulling the trigger. And over on the stage hammer time, it will be a valuable skill. The stage is a self-start. On the standby command, the shooter hits each anvil 3 times with the hammer, then draws and advances through the course of fire. At the end, it's a tricky, required use of low cover. Walt Prue makes it look easy.
I'm pretty spry for an old guy, so. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, if you can stretch a leg out behind you and cantilever out, it's the trick to it.
Mike Alexander is running neck and neck with the Prues in the CDP division, and hammer time will be a strong stage for him. His pace is just a tick faster than Walt, and at the end, 1 extra on the final target to be sure. It's all over in 20 seconds flat, and down 2 adds a second.
A lot of movement, a lot of technical positions. You can lose a lot of time just in all these steps. So I think I pulled it off pretty well.
The stage no standing 8 count. 8 threat targets, 3 non-threat. It becomes interesting when you reach this door. There are 6 targets in here, 3 of which, with the open hands, are those non-threats. In between each shooter, the designation is changed, so you'll have to decide on the fly which targets get the shots. The stage starts with a knockout blow to the dummy that activates a drop turner that must be shot on the move to the door. Then the unknown threat targets. And finally, a low position for the final shots. Tom Yost is through the stage quickly. 16:35 is his time, but 7 points down adds 3.5 seconds. Tom is holding on late to fend off a push by Pat Doyle in the SSP division, and on no standing 8 count, Pat will gain ground. He's through the door and into the low position in a flash. It's all over in 16.25 seconds, just 3 points down. The top spot in the ESP chase belongs to Gordon Carroll, and no standing 8 count will solidify that fact. Gordon posts a best for the division raw time of 17.18 seconds. Even with 4 points down, Gordon locks up the ESP win. Not only does Gordon Carroll take the ESP win holding off Morgan Allen, but he is also the overall match champion and most accurate for the match, just 30 points down total. In the stock service pistol division, it's match director Rodrigo Carvajal holding off a late charging Pat Doyle. Tom Yost is third, and high lady for the match, Randy Rogers, rounds out the top 4. In the CDP, it's Scott Warren over Mike Alexander, and check out this finish between the Prues. Just 1/10 of a second gives the edge to Austin. What a finish. But coming next, Jim's back with the story of the French sidearm, better known by its nickname.